Tired of the never-ending leave drama of who's in and who's out? Say goodbye to sticky notes and endless back-and-forth emails. Discover how a simple spreadsheet can keep track of all the different types of leaves and ensure your teamwork doesn't go haywire. Hi there, welcome to Exceldemy, where you can learn to use Excel and solve Excel VBA-related problems. I'm Eshrak Kader, and in today's video, I'll be discussing a detailed guide on how to create a leave tracker in Excel. For this tutorial, I'll be using Microsoft Excel 365. Before we begin, let's briefly go through what exactly is a leave tracker. A leave tracker is a database where we store the history of an employee's vacation in detail. We can easily see an employee's performance and sincerity with the help of a leave tracker. I'll begin with the summary worksheet of the leave tracker. This worksheet will summarize the different types of leaves and the number of leaves taken by each employee. First, I'll go to the Insert tab, then I'll click the Illustrations drop-down. Here we can insert pictures, shapes, icons, etc. I'll click the Pictures drop-down and choose this device option. This brings up the Insert Picture dialog box. I've saved my company logo in the Downloads folder. So click on Downloads and choose companylogo.png. You can insert your company logo from your PC as well. Click the Insert button and we can see that our company logo has been inserted. We can easily drag it in position and resize the logo according to our preference. Afterwards, select from B4 all the way to L4 range. Click the Home tab. In the Alignment section, click on Merge and Center. In the formula bar, type Employee Leave Tracker. Press Enter. Then select the merged B4 cell. In the font section, increase the font size to 14. Since this will be our heading, I'll make the text bold. You can also press Ctrl+B shortcut. Then I'll click on the Borders drop-down and choose All Border. Click the Fill Color drop-down. Here you can choose a fill color according to your liking. I'll choose this light shade of blue. Select the B6 cell. In the formula bar, type year. Press Enter. In the C6 cell, I'll enter the corresponding year. In my case, it's 2023. So I'll type 2023. Press Enter. Select the B6 and C6 cells. Increase their font size to 12. Make them bold. Apply all borders. Then select a fill color. Here I'll apply the same shade of blue. Select the B8 to I8 range. Click the Home tab. In the Alignment section, click on Merge and Center to merge all the cells together. In the formula bar, type Year Summary. Press Enter. Then select the merged cells, increase its font size to 12, make the text bold, and apply all borders. In a similar way, select from B9 all the way to I15 range and apply all borders. This table will contain the employee names and the different types of leaves. I'll make a table for all the leave types and their symbols in the K8 to L14 range. Now I'll add the leave type and their corresponding symbols. So let me speed up the video. After adding all the leave type and their symbols, I'll add the corresponding symbols from C9 all the way to H9 range. I'll start from the C9 cell. First, I'll add the leave symbol for vacation, which is V. Then press Tab to move to the D9 cell. Then I'll add the rest of the symbols. After adding the leave symbols, I'll add employee names column header in the B9 cell. I'll type out the employee names starting from the B10 cell. I want to know the totals based on employee names, so I'll add a total column in the I9 cell. Similarly, I'll add a total row to calculate the total based on leave types. I'll complete the summary worksheet by applying formatting and adding fill colors. Now you can choose any fill color according to your preference. That's it, our summary worksheet is complete. In the subsequent steps, I'll add the leaf tracker data starting with the month of January. As you can see, I have already added the January worksheet and prepared the table beforehand. After completing the January worksheet, I'll get back to the summary worksheet in the later part of this video. Select the E4 cell. In the formula bar, type Employee Leaf Tracker just like before. Press Enter. Then select the merged E4 cell. Click the Home tab. In the Font section, increase its font size to 14. Make the text bold. You can press Ctrl+B shortcut. Select the C4 cell. In the formula bar, type the formula. I'll start with equal, start double quotes, January, insert a space, then close the double quotes, insert the ampersand operator, then go to the summary worksheet. Here, choose the C6 cell which contains the year 2023. Press Enter and we get the month and year in our C4 cell. Next, select the C6 cell. In the formula bar, type Month Summary. Press Enter. Then again select the cell, increase the font size to 12 and make the text bold. In the C7 cell, type Days. Press Enter. In the C8 cell, type Dates. Press Enter. In the B9 cell, I'll type Employee Names. Press Enter. Now the Employee Names text is not visible, so click the Home tab. In the Alignment section, click on the Orientation drop-down. Here, choose Rotate Text Up option. Now the text is visible. I'll select the AJ6 cell. In the formula bar, I'll type Total Leaves. Press Enter. Now I'll apply some formatting to the column and row headers. The leaf tracker for the month of January is starting to take shape. Let's use Excel functions to generate the days and the dates of the month. I'll move to the D8 cell. In the formula bar, I'll type equal, then the date function. Press Tab to autocomplete. For the year argument of the date function, I'll head back to the summary worksheet. Here I'll select the C6 cell which contains my year 2023. Press F4 to lock in both the row and column references. Insert a comma. For the month argument of the date function, I'll type the month function. Press Tab to autocomplete. For the serial number argument of the month function, go back to the January worksheet and select the C4 cell which contains the month and the year. Close the parentheses, insert a comma. Then for the day argument of the date function, type 1 since I want the first date of January. Close the parentheses and press Enter. If we select the D8 cell, we can see that we get a preview of the date and the number has been formatted correctly to date. However, since the column width is insufficient, so Excel is returning me 2 pound symbols. I can click the number format drop-down. You can also click on Ctrl+1 shortcut to open the Format Cells dialog box. In the Numbers tab, I'll select the Custom category. Here, I'll remove the default type, press Delete and type D. Click on OK. Now we can see that our date has been formatted correctly. Let's briefly understand how the formula works. Here, the date function takes the year value from the C6 cell of the summary worksheet and returns 2023. The month function converts the value in the C4 cell from the January worksheet into the correct month number. So for January, the month number should be 1. And lastly, 1 indicates the starting date of January. Therefore, the formula returns the date corresponding to the first day of the month of January in the year 2023. Next, I'll move to the E8 cell. In the formula bar, press equal, select the D8 cell which contains the first date of January, insert a plus sign, then type 1. Press Enter. Now apply the fill handle tool all the way up to AE8 cell. This returns us the date up to January 28. For the AF8 to AH8 range, I'll use a separate formula since different months have different number of days. Select the AF8 cell. In the formula bar, insert equal, then start the if function. Press tab to autocomplete. For the logical test argument of the if function, I'll start the month function. Press tab. For the serial number argument of the month function, I'll select the AE8 cell, which contains the 28th of January. Then press F4 once, twice, thrice to lock in only the column reference. Insert plus sign, then type 1. Close the parentheses, insert a greater than symbol. Again type the month function. For the serial number argument of the month function, I'll select the D8 cell, which contains the first date of January. Press F4 to lock in both the row and column references. Close the parentheses, insert a comma. For the value if true argument of the if function, I'll open and close double quotes. Insert a comma. For the value if false argument of the if function, I'll select the AE8 cell, then press F4 once, twice, thrice, only to lock in the column reference. Again, insert a plus sign and type 1. Finally, close the parentheses of the if function and press enter. As expected, we get the date of January 29th. Let's briefly go through how this formula works. The formula checks whether incrementing the month value in the AE8 cell by 1 results in a month greater than the month in the D8 cell. If this condition is true, then the formula returns blank. Otherwise, the formula adds 1 to the value in the AE8 cell and displays the result, thus ensuring the correct date for the month. Now, if I apply the fill handle tool all the way up to AH8 cell, we can see the result is not what we expect. Instead of 30 and 31, we get the same answer of 29. Now move to the AG8 cell. Instead of 1, replace it with 2. Again, instead of 1, I'll replace it with 2 and press enter. Now we get the correct date of January 30th. Select the AH8 cell. This time, instead of 1, I'll type 3. Press enter. Finally, this returns us the correct date of January 31st. Next, let's add the weekdays of January. I'll go to the D7 cell. In the formula bar, press equal and type the if function. Press tab to autocomplete. For the logical test argument of the if function, I want to check whether the cell value of D8 is blank or not. So select the D8 cell, insert equal, open and close double quotes. If the value in the D8 cell is blank, then I want to return a blank character. Otherwise, for the value if false argument, I'll start the index function. Press tab to autocomplete. For the array argument of the index function, I'll start curly brackets. Then I'll type the abbreviated weekday names inside double quotes, starting with Sunday. Close the double quotes, insert a semicolon. In a similar way, I'll type out the rest of the weekdays. Finally, close the curly bracket, insert a comma. For the row number argument of the index function, I'll start the weekday function. For the serial number argument of the weekday function, I'll select the D8 cell, which contains my first date of January. Insert a comma. For the return type argument of the weekday function, we can see Excel offers lots of options to serial the weekdays. In my case, I'll choose number 1, since I want to serial my week starting from Sunday through Saturday. Close the parentheses of the weekday function, then the parentheses of the index function, and lastly the if function. Press enter, and we can see that the first day of January is a Sunday. Now drag the fill handle tool all the way up to AH8 cell. Let's briefly understand how this formula works. This formula checks whether the cell value of D8 is empty or not. If it's not empty, then it calculates the day of the week based on the D8 cell value and returns the corresponding day from the array of the index function. However, if the D8 cell is empty, then the formula returns a blank. With that out of the way, I'll move to the summary worksheet. Here, I'll select from B10 to B14 cell, which contains my employee names. Press Ctrl+C to copy them. Then I'll head back to the January worksheet. I'll select the C9 cell and press Ctrl+V to paste the employee names. To avoid any confusion while entering the abbreviated leave symbols, I'll use Excel's data validation feature. This ensures that only the defined symbols can be entered. To apply data validation, I'll select from D9 to AH13 range. Then click the Data tab. In the Data Tools section, click on Data Validation. This brings up the Data Validation dialog box. In the Allow field, click the drop-down. Here you can choose different types of options like decimal, list, text length, etc. In my case, I'll choose the list option. For the source field, click on this arrow, then go back to the summary worksheet and select from L9 to L14 range. Click on OK. Now if you click on any of the cells, you'll find a drop-down. Click on this drop-down. Here you can choose the different types of leaves. For demonstration purposes, I'll add sick leave for Johnny. I also want to display the total for each type of leave taken by the employees. So move to the AJ7 cell. In the formula bar, type equal, then go to the summary worksheet and select the C9 cell. Press Enter. And we can see the symbol for vacation leave has appeared. Apply the fill handle tool to get the leave types from the summary worksheet. Select the AJ7 to AO13 range. Then go back to the Home tab. In the Font section, increase their font size to 12 and make the text bold. You can press Ctrl+B shortcut as well. In the Alignment section, change their alignment to center aligned. Next, I'll use the COUNTIF function in the AJ9 cell to count the total number of leaves taken by each employee. In the formula bar, press equal, type the COUNTIF function. Press Tab to autocomplete. For the range argument of the COUNTIF function, I'll select the D9 to AH9 range. Then press F4 once, twice, thrice to lock in only the column references. Insert a comma. For the criteria argument of the COUNTIF function, I'll select the AJ7 cell, which contains my abbreviated leave symbol. Press F4 once, twice to lock in the row reference. Close the parentheses and press Enter. As expected, we get an answer of 0 since Vittoria hasn't taken any vacation leave. Let's briefly go through how this formula works. Here the COUNTIF function counts the number of vacation leaves taken by each employee. Now I'll drag the fill handle tool across the rows. Then I'll apply the fill handle tool along the columns. We can see that Johnny has taken 2 sick leaves. I've added these 2 sick leaves for demonstration purposes previously. So this means our formula is working perfectly. To calculate the total for each type of leave, I'll go to the AJ8 cell. In the formula bar, press equal and type the sum function. Press Tab to autocomplete. For the number 1 argument of the sum function, I'll select from AJ9 to AJ13 range. Close the parentheses and press Enter. Again, select the AJ8 cell and apply the fill handle tool. Instead of zeros, I want to replace them with hyphens. So I'll select from AJ8 to AO13 range, click the Home tab. In the Number section, click this number format arrow. You can also press Ctrl+1 shortcut key. This opens up the Format Cells dialog box. Click the Number tab. In the Category section, choose Custom. If you scroll down, you'll find a custom category. Select it, click on OK. Now we can see that the zeros have been replaced by hyphen. This makes it easier to understand the total number of each type of leave. Now I'll highlight the weekends using Excel's conditional formatting option. For my case, I'll consider Saturday and Sunday as my weekends. Now you can change this according to your preference. I'll select from D9 to AH13 range. Click the Home tab. In the Style section, click on Conditional Formatting drop-down. Choose the New Rule option. This opens up the New Formatting Rule dialog box. Excel offers lots of formatting features. I'll use a formula to determine which cells to format. Here, I'll type my formula. Press equal, type the OR function. I want to check whether the value in the D7 cell is equal to Saturday or Sunday. So type D7, press F4 once, twice, to lock in the row reference, insert equal, then start double quotes, type SA, which is the short form for Saturday. Insert a comma, again type D7, press F4 twice, equal, start double quotes, and type SU, which is the short for Sunday. Close the parentheses. The OR function checks whether the value in the D7 cell is a Saturday or Sunday. If either of these conditions is true, the OR function returns true. If both the conditions are false, then it returns false. I'll click the Format button. This opens up the Format Cells dialog box. Go to the Fill section. Here you can choose any color according to your preference. In my case, I'll choose this shade of blue. Click on OK. Therefore, I want the OR function to apply this formatting whenever the condition holds true. Click on OK, and we can see that the Saturdays and Sundays have been highlighted. This completes the January tracker. Now I'll make a copy of this worksheet. Press and hold down the Ctrl key and drag the January worksheet. Double-click on the worksheet name and type FEB for February. Press Enter. In the February worksheet, go to the C4 cell and replace the January text with February. Press Enter. We can see the formulas return the correct days and the dates for the month of February. Also, the weekends have been highlighted automatically. By following a similar procedure, I've added the other 10 months in my leave tracker. Afterward, I'll head back to the summary worksheet. I'll enter my formula in the C10 cell. Now you can find this formula in the article that is linked in the description box below. As you can see, I have already expanded my formula bar since this will be a pretty large formula. This looks daunting at first glance. However, it is the repetition of the first part for the 12 months in a year. So let's go through this first part and you will easily understand how the rest of this formula works. This formula returns the number of leaves from the AJ9 to AJ13 column of the January worksheet, based on matching employee names from the C9 to C13 range of the January worksheet. If a match is found, it returns the corresponding value, otherwise the formula returns 0. From there onwards, it is the same procedure for the rest of the 11 months. Now, one thing to remember, the worksheets have to be named as JAN for January, FEB for February, and so on as given in the formula. Otherwise, you may get an error. Now, I'll press Enter. Then I'll apply the Fill Handle tool across the rows. Then apply the Autofill feature along the columns. Next, I'll go to the I10 cell, press equal and type the sum function. For the number 1 argument of the sum function, I'll select from C10 to H10 range. Close the parentheses and press Enter, and this gives us the total number of leaves. Apply the Fill Handle tool up to I14 range. Similarly, I'll go to the C15 range. In the formula bar, press equal and type the sum function. For the number 1 argument of the sum function, this time I'll choose from C10 to C14 range. Close the parentheses and press Enter. Again, apply the Fill Handle tool up to I15 range. That's it. This completes our leave tracker. Lastly, let's verify if our leave tracker is working correctly. To do this, I'll need to enter some random data for testing purposes. Move to the January worksheet. Here, I'll enter a couple of vacation leaves for Victoria. Then I'll move to the February worksheet. Here, I'll delete one of the sick leaves for Johnny and add an unpaid leave for Victoria. Then I'll go to the July worksheet. I'll add an personal leave for Luca. As you can see, the total leaves are being calculated automatically. Let's check the summary worksheet as well. We can see Victoria has taken 2 vacation leaves and 1 unpaid leave. Johnny has taken 3 sick leaves so far, while Luca has taken only 1 personal leave. We can also see the totals based on each employee and the leave types. And there you go, the employee leave tracker is ready and working perfectly. In this demonstration, I have shown you a step-by-step guide to making a leave tracker. Don't forget to download the practice workbook from the video description. Try it out for yourself. It's a great way to improve your Excel skills. If this video helped you, give it a thumbs up. If you have any queries, suggestions or feedback, leave a comment down below. For more information, you can visit exceldemy.com. Make sure to check our Exceldemy forum if you are stuck with an Excel problem. Also, to see more helpful content like this, please consider subscribing to our channel. Hope to see you next time. Bye!